My name's ADRIENNE. I have the great good fortune of being the head of data science at Cirium, which is a wonderful organization, and I've been there for just over 7 years. And I wanted to talk to you today about how we have looked at transforming our business and moving into the AI space and really starting to build and nurture that AI discipline and talent within our business. But first, a little bit about me. So I have a background in physics and astronomy. I had a former career as an astronomer. So I did a PhD in astronomy, and then I went and moved to Paris and spent about 5 years working at a wonderful institution called the Atomic Energy Commission, where I was working in a really technical team focused on signal processing, was learning a lot about algorithm development, convex optimization, all of the good things that were kind of the building blocks and my gateway into data science and machine learning. I then moved back to the UK and spent 2 years at UCL, but by this point I was starting to get itchy feet and decided that the academic life wasn't for me. And in 2016 I jumped ship and joined a company that would become Cirium. And that's where I've been for 7 years. I was the first data scientist hired into the business. I now have a double-digit sized team in what is starting to become a really scaled AI department within the business. Our business is part of RELX, who are a global provider of information and analytics and decision tools for our customers. We like to say that we are the biggest company you've probably never heard of because we primarily do B2B services, but we almost certainly impact your life in some way, either through our businesses that support insurance, government, fraud detection. We sit across that whole spectrum of different markets within the data space. RELX is broken down into 4 divisions. We sit within risk and data services, which is a high growth area of the business, and we're really supported by big data. So the risk and data services business consists of 7 different brands: LexisNexis Risk Solutions, ICIS, who focus on chemicals and energy, ProAgrica, who focus on agriculture, EG, who are in commercial property, Expert HR, who do what they say on the tin, and Next10, who are a tax business in the Netherlands. Cirium are the aviation and air travel wing of the business, which is a really exciting space that is undergoing a process of digital transformation at the moment, and we're trying to support our customers doing that. Cirium has an incredibly long history in the aviation industry. We date back well over 100 years, and we started our lives as a print business with a magazine called Flight International. It's the world's first weekly aerospace magazine, and I was surprised that it dated back that far, because I didn't really think we were flying around very much. And for most of the early part of our history, for almost 80 years, we were exclusively a print business. We launched a second magazine in 1985 called Airline Business, targeting C-suite executives as the aviation industry was becoming really well established. But around the 90s, we started to realize that print was going to die out. We could see the sea change coming with the advent of the internet, and realized that we were sitting on top of a lot of data, and data was becoming currency. And so we started a series of strategic moves to move into that data space and transform our business to being a data business. And we did this through a number of acquisitions. So in the late 90s, we started an online news and data portal called ATI. And then we started to acquire the largest fleet database through ACAS in 2004, valuations and historical fleets data through the acquisition of Ascend, schedules and airline planning data coming in 2014 through Innovator. I joined in 2016 right before 2 very key acquisitions of Flight Stats, which provides real-time flight status and tracking information for all the flights around the world, and DO, who brought in fares, traffic, and schedules analysis tools. By the time we got towards 2019, we were well known in the industry as Flight Global, which was our former company name. We had become a data business, but the industry still knew us as a publisher, so we divested the publications part of our business, and we rebranded as Cirium and launched our brand as the Center of Aviation Analytics in the market. We had one further acquisition in 2020, a company based in Southampton called Snowflake Software, not to be confused with the Snowflake who's exhibiting here, completely different thing. And they brought a particular capability around data handling and data processing. Our mission in the industry is to accelerate digital transformation and support our customers to make better decisions. So we have a grand ambition to power every decision connected to aviation, and my work is focused on how do we enable our customers to make better decisions through advanced analytics. So we've been on a number of transformations over the years. We started out as a print business, then became a data business, and now we're starting to scale up as an AI business. Our transformation journey has been fairly simple. Step 1, acquire all the data. Step 2, hire some data scientists. Step 4, profit. Yeah, really straightforward. In fact, our journey has been anything but that, as some people in the audience can attest to. Our journey's looked a bit more like this. It has been a fairly long and winding road, sometimes treacherous, sometimes with very steep, sharp cliffs, obstacles in the road, and we're not at our destination yet, but we're well on our way. So what I want to share with you is the 6 key lessons that I have learned as the first data scientist hired into the business, now leading our data science department, in how you really grow and nurture and scale AI as a business. And the first lesson that was very hard one for me is, as a business, as a leadership team within your business, you need to define your AI vision. And what I mean by that is you want to think about, how is AI going to benefit my business, and where and how am I looking to leverage it? So here you want to think about your corporate objectives, your business strategy. You want to think about whether you're focusing purely on releasing new products that are AI focused, or whether you're looking to leverage AI internally to support your processes or to disruptively transform those processes. You want to think about your competitive environment. How are you positioned against your competition? What are your competition doing with AI? Where are the risks if you don't adopt AI and you don't move forward with an AI vision? And how might AI impact your industry, your business, your products and your processes, and where could your organization benefit most from AI? And so for us, we divided our AI strategy when we were thinking about this into thinking about where we wanted to be in the product and service-focused area of the business. So we're looking to build best-in-class solutions for our customers. We're also looking for opportunities to disrupt the industry. But we're also putting a lot of emphasis internally at renovating our processes. Some of our data pipelines were built 20, 30 years ago, and as you know, what was state-of-the-art 20 or 30 years ago is not state-of-the-art now. And if you stand still, you're actually moving backwards. Lastly, you need to think about your level of aspiration. Are you just trying to adopt industry standard tools to help you become more efficient? Or are you really trying to change the world with your adoption of AI and your delivery of AI-driven products into the market? You really need to take the time to sit and think about where it is that you are trying to leverage AI as a business, because it's impossible to think about the things that follow, your organizational structure, your priorities, your investment strategy, if you don't know what you're actually trying to achieve with AI as a business. Secondly, embed effective processes. This might be something, when I joined Cirium and as a new data scientist, I thought process was something that was bureaucracy and admin and slowed me down. In fact, I am the strongest proponent within my business now of good processes, because I've seen how effective a solid process can be. So when we're thinking about processes here, at Cirium we have several different work streams where we're thinking about AI. We have a propulsion labs team who are purely focused on R&D and experimentation to find opportunities to disrupt the market. We have such high ambitions about AI, and we can see that the industry is ripe for that transformation, and so we're actively looking for those disruptive opportunities. We have a product-focused R&D pipeline where we're looking to build new products to better serve our customers and enhance our existing products, again, to better serve our customers. And then we're also looking in our data. Where are there opportunities to proactively monitor and resolve issues? We're thinking things here around AI-driven anomaly detection and intelligent algorithms to aggregate the thousands of sources of data that we bring in every day to try and make that 360-degree picture of the aviation industry. And lastly, we have a very active commercial strategy team who are looking at how to empower our sales and marketing teams. If we want to grow our business and scale, we need to be able to empower our sales and marketing teams to do more with the same amount of resource. And that's what we're looking to do there, and leverage AI to support that. And of course, over in our propulsion lab space, while they're thinking about all the disruptive ideas, they also come up with useful smaller chunks of work that fit more within our sustaining innovation space, so enhancements to our existing products that feed in. What we've realized at Cirium is that if you separate out all of these work streams, you're not going to be very efficient at driving forward your AI strategy. Because there may be synergies, there may be overlaps, there may be shared components and common techniques that will solve problems in the product space and also solve problems in your commercial strategy space or in your data space. And so our approach has been to centralize our funnel of ideas. They all come through the same place. We then map those onto capabilities and synergies and machine learning techniques and look for where the shared components are so that we can prioritize our ideas based on the value to our business, both internal and customer facing, and we can also build reusable components that allow us to scale more quickly. Once we've set our priorities, we go through a process of R&D and discovery, that's the second D, and a delivery process. So I'll talk you through a little bit about that. The idea at Cirium is that R&D will take as long as it takes, but once you have identified a solution to the problem, we build a business case, and we go through a regular series of releases. So we do 3 releases per year. This is across internal and product-facing use cases, and we have 3 business cases a year. So it really streamlines the process and gets everybody moving on the same cadence and pulling in the same direction. Lastly, you want to think about your R&D process for your data science teams as well. And this is actually where I started getting into process and project management. If you've worked in a data science team, you will know that adopting project management processes like Agile, Scrum are incredibly difficult when you're very early on in an R&D project. You don't know what you need to do to solve a problem. You don't have the ability to plan a 2-week sprint because you don't know what you're going to find as you start exploring your problem space. And so we adopted a process called data-driven Scrum, which is very much more targeted to that data science lifecycle. The idea is that you focus on iterations, not time-boxed sprints. And in any iteration, you are trying to solve a problem, test a hypothesis, run an experiment, answer a question. And so you start the process with brainstorming all of those ideas with your stakeholders and prioritizing which ones you want to tackle first, and trying to make them as small as possible as well, because an iteration will take as long as it takes. You really don't want your iterations to be taking 6 months. Once you have agreed on those priorities, you then begin the iteration. You create some artifacts, some code, an experiment, a prototype. You observe some artifacts and you analyze those observations. So this could be, how well does my model perform? And once you, how well does my model perform against a benchmark? And once you've done that observation, you analyze the results and you see how far away you are from what success might look like. So if you've built a prototype model that's very simple and you are 10% below the baseline, probably job done. But if you've built a model that is not even as good as the baseline, there's a lot more work to do. But this process helps you to figure out what you need to do next. And it ensures that you're having regular engagement and regular conversations with your stakeholders and your end users to make sure that what you're building is actually useful. My third bit of wisdom is around organizational structure. Particularly if bringing AI into your business represents a transformation, you have to be organized for alignment. You have to make sure that your business is all pulling in the same direction, otherwise you're not really going to get where you need to be. What I found through a lot of research and talking to a lot of different companies and within my own company as well is that most successful AI departments within a business kind of look like a hub and spoke. So there are some things that are naturally centralized, like your strategy, your standards and best practices, and your talent management. Some things are best devolved into smaller execution teams who really have subject matter expertise, understand their end users, and can build a solution that works. And there's a gray area in the middle. Some teams are more centralized, some teams are more devolved. But there tends to be an evolution. When you're just starting out and your AI capability is not very mature, you benefit from being more central, which is sort of where Cirium are right now. And as you evolve, you start to decentralize as your business starts to be more capable in the AI and ML space. The other key ingredient in organizational structure is a cross-functional leadership team that makes sure that you're driving alignment. If your data science department is not aligned with your commercial teams and your technology teams, you're going to hit blockers. You're going to start pulling in different directions and you're going to get stuck. Particularly if data science and tech are not aligned, you're going to run into challenges around infrastructure, getting models into production, deployments. If your commercial teams are not aligned, they won't know what products you're bringing into market. They won't know what solutions are coming down the pipeline that will support them in their work, and you'll have challenges around adoption. You might also have challenges around investment in your AI initiatives. And that cross-functional leadership team is absolutely important. When you are driving transformation within your business, this has to be driven from your leadership layer. It cannot be driven from the grassroots. Adopting the right tools. This is probably a no-brainer, and I'm not going to talk extensively around our technology stack, but if you want to do data science and AI, you have to have the right tools for the job. There are a lot of fantastic examples of really good tools on display here today. For us at Cirium, we thought about data science as a discipline and what does our life cycle of building and deploying models look like. Broadly, it's, read some data, clean the data, do some exploratory data analysis, build a model, test your model, deploy it and monitor it, and incrementally improve it. We've broken this down into 4 key areas. Data engineering, when you're reading and cleaning and processing large volumes of data. Analytics engineering, where you're starting to explore the data and build features. Model building, which does what it says on the tin. And MLOPS as your final stage. You have to have the right tools all the way along this pipeline. Where we got stuck a lot in the early days at Cirium, we're focusing on tools around model building. So tools that allowed us to take large volumes of data and build models. But we didn't think about the data engineering on the one end, and so that took us an extraordinary amount of time just to get the data in place to build our models. And we didn't think about how to deploy it into production. And so what that means is that your data science team is costing you money, they're spending a lot of money to build models, and you're not getting any return on your investment because you're not getting these things into production. So we now have a more or less complete stack. I'm not going to talk through all of these in detail. We do leverage Databricks a fair bit. We are now starting to dabble in the model building space into some of the large language models, looking at Azure as well as Amazon Bedrock. And MLflow, which is a fantastic tool for deploying models and monitoring models, and that traceability and lineage of all of the artifacts around your models is something I can't speak highly enough about. Lesson 5. AI literacy and reskilling. This is so important, particularly if you are in a business that has never done AI before. And this was probably, maybe still is, my biggest challenge. But to ensure the adoption of AI, and to ensure the adoption of your AI strategy as well, and sign off at the leadership level, everyone, from the top down, needs to be educated and needs to be more literate in AI and the value it can bring to your business. Now, I'm not saying that your CEO or your head of sales needs to be able to write a deep learning model or build a computer vision algorithm. There's a hierarchy or a pyramid of AI literacy that we're thinking about at Cirium. At the very top, you've got your data scientists, your ML and AI engineers, your researchers, the people who are working on experimentation. They're the ones who can create new algorithms and new models and evaluate which components need to go in which order in which places to solve the problems that you're trying to solve. Somewhere in the middle is where your product, data, analysts, and software engineering teams will sit. These are people who need to be able to understand enough about what you're trying to do in the AI and ML space to understand the building blocks of your algorithms and your solutions, to be able to figure out which components go together, which components can be reused for other use cases, that kind of thing. So they have to have a really good working knowledge, not necessarily to the point of writing their own code, but enough to understand how to build their own new ideas and new products moving forward. And towards the bottom, your leadership and commercial teams, everybody within your business needs to be somewhere on this pyramid. Your leadership and commercial teams need to know and understand enough about AI and its impact in their areas of the business and in their industry so that they can set the right strategies, they can understand where they need to invest and how they need to prioritize AI initiatives against the other things that the business is trying to do. So at Cirium, we are now currently working to build a data and AI literacy and reskilling program. And I mentioned reskilling here because with all of the hype around generative AI is a fundamental truth that some job profiles will change. Some areas of your business will have a change in their skills profile. And so reskilling is really important. I don't think you build AI as a discipline within your business by firing a bunch of engineers and hiring a bunch of data scientists to solve all of your problems. I think really you want to bring everybody along for the journey. What I've encountered at Cirium a lot, particularly when I first started out, is almost a sense that I was stepping in on other people's territory, because I would go and talk to engineers and look at some of their processes and say, well, have you considered using machine learning to do probabilistic matching of your data sources rather than having a really large hierarchy of heuristic rules to determine which data sources you prioritize as they're coming in? And I would be met with a bit of defensiveness. If this is my area of expertise, this is my subject matter knowledge, what do you know about this? So for some people there is a bit of defensiveness. In other spaces it can pose a real existential threat. If AI can do a job of reading through a number of news articles, summarizing those, extracting entities, and updating your database, what do you need your subject matter experts for? And those are the types of thoughts that might be coming into the minds of people who you're working with in your business. We like to say at Cirium that AI is not coming to steal your job, but people using AI are. AI is not going away, and it's not hype. And if you're not using AI, your competitors probably are. And as I said before, you can't stand still. If you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards. But you really need to bring your business along for the ride. And sure, not everybody's going to want to. Not everybody wants to reskill. Not everybody wants to move more into the data science and analytics space, and that's fine. But you can't transform your business without everybody in your business having to move and change and evolve. It's not about hire some data scientists and you make money. It's about that evolution as a business. And this is absolutely key to that, so that everybody within your business understands the value that AI brings to their part of the business, the opportunity that comes from AI within their business. And the last lesson is probably the biggest and hardest lesson for me. It's a winding road. You're not going to get it right the first time, or the second time, or in my case, the fifth time. You have to be open to hearing other perspectives, learning from other people, and growing and changing and pivoting where you're getting things wrong. Mistakes give us an opportunity to do better. They give us insight. It's not a failure to make a mistake. It's a massive win to make a mistake, recognize that you've made a mistake, and then put your ego aside and say, okay, let's try and do something different. I have greatly valued within my team the expertise of a whole range of people, from people who'd been in the industry 20 years before I even knew what data science was, to people who were just starting out as graduates within a training program. Everybody has a unique perspective to bring. Everybody who I have worked with has helped to shape how we have transformed our business and how we've started to move in the right direction. So welcome your mistakes, learn from them, take advice from as many people as you can, and move forward. And with that, I will close. I'm happy to take any questions. I'm also at the RELX stand, which is in the X-axis of the building, right by the X-axis theatre for the rest of the day, if anybody wants to come and have a chat. I am always open to hearing new perspectives and new experiences. Thank you.